Hello, we will start with creating our material instance mi_peeling rust. Just assign to my plane and open the material instance. Here in the background I will set it is for now none. I will use layer attributes. I immediately get the default textures. For the background I want to use this metal thing, and I don't want albedo texture. I just need a metal information for the packed and maybe normal, not necessary I guess, but not much difference. But here is the roughness is doing the most of the job, and I can use a solid color for this, like this. It's pretty nice. Okay, and for the response I need to have metalness. Alright, this looks pretty fine. So this is my metal background. I will create a rust layer on top of it and create a mask information to blend. I have rust painted metal sheet, which is the same actually, but I want to increase the tiling of it to maybe 4, because it will be on the small parts and the mask, so 2 is okay. So we need a masking information and logic for blending between 0 and 1. Right now it's all solid. Here you can see the base mask, we don't use any of these. So we have the top layer amount is 1. This is like a simple lerp. 0 will be the bottom layer, and as we increase we will reveal the top layer as gradient. So we need a sharp transition between the masks. So the idea is to create a base mask that can be changed whatever. So first let's try with texture mask. By default we have a texture, it's RGB mask using red channel, and we have the texture mask amount and contrast. So this is our texture. We can increase the amount or lower it, and select the channels. Blue is better for this case. You can increase the contrast a bit to reveal the top layer on certain parts more strongly. And here I have the gradient, like the lower parts of the mask will be on the middle between top layer and bottom layer, and that is where we are going to create our detail mask. So I enable the detail mask. By default it is try to use displacement from the bottom layer. It is attribute mask and it is using from bottom. So what we want to sample a new texture. We want a noise to create a pattern in between. So we will use noise. And by default again we have a noise texture. And you will see it will be working in the between. If I increase the tiling, where the mask is 1, like a full reveal of the top layer, there will be no effect. But this is working on the gradient. Like here is the middle value of the mask, and there we have the pattern of the noise. And we have the detail mask amount and contrast again. If we increase, like you will see, this is the top layer, this is the full mask, this is the 0, and we are working this noise in the between of these values. So I have this pattern, and the area of the mask is controlling by the base mask. So if we increase the contrast, we have lower area on the like gray color between 0 and 1. So like lower contrast will be having more area to have the detail mask work, and high contrast will have lower. So this is a good start for now. Let's take a closer look. Okay, this is a nice view. So we have this rust as happening in between these areas, but I want this transition to be more real, more effective. So we have a overlay option. When we enable this, we have options to overlay some effects on top of the blend. It will use the main blend mask we have. So for example, when we overlay color, we have options to use to adjust the mask and also the color information. Let's see. I want like let's say lower brightness. So this is using the same mask, so it is appearing on the top value. And if I invert this by multiplying by -1 on the contrast, we will have the inverted value, but we need to see this area. So if I play with the amount, you will start to see this is the effect is happening on the lower parts. If I increase the contrast more, here like the blend mask is happening, and where the gradient is going, the darkness is affecting. This is without overlay and with overlay. Can increase the contrast more further. So this will affect only between the 0 and 1, where the value is 1, the full, there will be no overlay effect. So again, if we play with the base mask, the contrast, if we lower this, we have more areas to both the detail mask and overlay to be worked on. Here is a bit noise, it can be like a bit tiling, so maybe 1.5 is okay, but this is depending on the mask you're using. If we like select the red channel, we have more contrast here, so we have this effect working much better. And in the details we can increase the breakup contrast, which will make this transition more sharp. Very cool. And I don't want this for really high contrast. I want a subtle shadowy effect. This is just playing with the values. A little bit darkness on the edges to create a shadowy effect. And also we can use this roughness overlay, and if we enable this and higher the roughness, we will have a bit more rough surfaces on the overlay mask, which will be like losing the reflection, the shininess of it. Let's see. Here you can see the reflectness is lowered. And a subtle effect here. Here you can see without any mask, when we decrease the overlay, dark spots and rough surfaces is spreading more. And even further lower the color. Yes. So this is the logic now. But I want some effects on the metal side of the blend, so we can add another layer. But this time I want to put it on the middle. You'll see in a second. So I just swap our layers. The rust is still on the top. So in the middle I have I just add a new master layer. This will override on the metal part, not the rust area. So we will have this default textures in a second. And let me add also the master blender. So we lose the metal part. Yeah, right now we have a full material. I want only some effects, like I want to add normal detail. So first I want to select my normal texture. I don't have a specific texture, but I can use some like random. There I have cliff, sharp normals, and if I increase the tiling, this can be like a metal bending effect. And in the blender I want to not use material but use attribute blend. This will allow me to select each attribute to blend from the top layer, and not the base color but the normal. So I will eliminate every information from the top layer. I will just use the normal information. And you will see the bottom layer, the original metal is fully revealed, and I have the normal edition. We can see we have the normal blend. This is now overriding the existing normal. If we enable the normal blend, we don't have the strong normal information from the bottom, but we will like angle blend correction, the Unreal's normal blending node. Let's see if we can spot the difference, like a little bit subtle information of normal below. We can actually more see it on if we increase the normal intensity of the bottom layer. We can increase this. Yeah, so this is the normal coming from the bottom, and we have top layers normal, and I want to of course mask it out on the edges, not all the way around. So the logic is I need a masking information that will be used both in this, let me call this normal effect and rust. I want a mask that will be used both of the layers, so I need to use this, create this masking information in the earlier stages, and then I can use it on the top. So there will be our anchor points will come out. So we are using base mask sampled on the top. We will need to sample this all the way in the bottom layer. So I will select it on the texture mask. Let's see what we are using. 1.5 contrast. Let's just copy this. Red channel, the same mask. 1.5. The amount. Red. This is the same mask. And we can do an override below mask. So we are overwriting the base mask, not the blend. We don't have a blend mask here, not important. Now we will sample this as the base mask, not the texture mask, but as below mask. So we will use the same mask but have additional further control over this. So we want to use the same pattern but in different values, in different contrasts. This is about like further playing. So here, to visualize the middle layer I want also an overlay, and I want these edges, the normal effects, I want the rust have the color overlay on the top of the edges, so it will like a leaking effect. So first I want to full desaturation. We will lose the color coming from the bottom. You can already see we have some white spots here. This is already cool. Where the normal is happening, there is also this whiteness. We can control the brightness, like higher brightness will give us, this is too much, 4, 10. So this mask probably is not fully white in any area, in fully black, so we can control its overlay contrast. If I increase, yeah, we have now fully 0, fully white, fully 0, fully 1, and in the middle we have this rust darkening happening, this noise pattern, and also this whiteness. So let's go with 1.5 on the edges. I don't want any brightness now. I want to have overlay tint and have a bit rusty color, kind of orange. And maybe increase the brightness a bit more, a little bit more. Yeah, this is more likely. So if I want to have more area for the normal effect layer, I can lower our rust area to have like, this will be like in the middle point here. If I control this mask by the below mask, right now we are sampling the same mask, but if we were to adjust some of the amount, like if we lower, you will have more effect. we are losing our rust by playing with this. So not much, but maybe increase the contrast a bit and then lower it. Yeah, now this is more likely. Looking very good. Like, we need to take care that we have a solid white value here, and if it's losing the full white one, and then it will be affected by all the noise pattern here. So I just want this edge here. Let me demonstrate the mask debug. So I will use base mask as the debug. This will be showing black and white values of the mask. This is our mask. Here is the gradient is happening. If I keep lowering this, at some point we lose all the full white, and then we will have this noise, this detail pattern on all over. Maybe you want this, but I want fully areas that full rust is revealed without any noise pattern. So yeah, these areas, yeah, this is all the same value. So this is our like threshold. If we pass the threshold just a little bit, now we achieve our fully rust areas. And still this contrast will be affecting also. So this too is okay. So let's go over. We have now first have the base mask from the texture. We have this pattern, and we can control all everything with the single slider. Like fully rust, lower this, and we will have our full material, like without any fully black and fully white. This is the basic setup. The contrast will generally control the area this blending effect is happening. So if I put lower, you'll see. If I just lower this a bit, we will lose everything there. If I push a little bit, and we will have fully rust areas. So I don't need any detail mask here. I just have a overlay of the color, and I have the normal from the top, this random texture. I can play with the tiling of it, like this can be better. All very good. And for the last thing, I want to show this on the power of tessellation. So here is my clip cut through, and now right now I don't have the tessellation, but if I enable this, let's see how the displacement was on the layers. So by default we have displacement. It will be probably broken on the first try. Yeah. Now it's scaling with the whole displacements. First, I want to really lower the contrast even further. So this will make the displacement almost zero, and then I can play with the amount. Yeah. So we have this higher area. Let's see. Let's look at it from this angle. And you can see this is our top layer. When we increase our displacement, we are just affecting for this part. So 200 maybe, okay. And by default we don't use any displacement here, so it's okay. But we also need to lower the contrast of our displacement in the rust. So this this spikes we need to get rid of. So this is almost zero out, and again we can use displacement information to control additionally this area. I just want the zero, also maybe like fully zero. We don't have any displacement information on the rust, and we have now our top layer, no override on the middle part, so it will still use the same displacement. But now if I use overlay displacement, right now where this effect is happening, every overlay will be working on that side. So if I want to increase some displacement on the edges, because it is working with the mask, with our gradient mask, the effect will be more and more on the edges. Like also you can see on the color, you can see more orangey color, and it slowly fades away as we go back to the bottom layer. So will be the displacements. So let's say overlay displacement. If we set 1, we are just multiplying, so it will affect really strong. If I subtly higher the displacement, 0.1, and yeah, you can see you have like little bit of displacement. This is happening like from here to there, like not jumping. 0.5, 0.4. It's depending on the displacement of the top layer. So if I also zero out this, we have the same displacement on both. Actually, let's zero the contrast fully. Now we have a displacement only happening from bottom to middle, and we have this a little bit sharp, not very, it's too sharp, like maybe like subtle effects. But I guess the normal is quite nice to work with this. I mean, that's how the capabilities of the system. Want to mention maybe 0.1, quite nice. If I lower the contrast, good looking, huh? And to further make the visual richness, this overlay color on the rust, this black areas, can work with the Alright, pretty nice, shiny, bendy, but I think this contrast was perfect. So yeah, the full color. And the beautiful thing for the next part, so this our system is like in 2 layers. And we have everything is happening in the base mask. So whatever we feed into this mask, we will use all system will be override on this. So if we just disable the texture mask, let's say, and add a procedural mask, and let's say we have all these options, simple gradient. So this will gradient in creating in the UVs in the red channel. So in the red direction of the U direction, we will have the gradient, and all the effect is fully procedural, so it will work in every case. So this is the logic behind this. So here is the 0, here is the 1, and all this logic is happening in the between. Here is my noise. I have like fully tiled noise, and if we higher the contrast, we will see the effect is happening higher in the between. I can just swap to change the direction. This will adapt to any information. Any masking method will be working. So let's see, the most effective showcase will be with the paint mask, I guess. So I want to lower the tiling first, 0.5, 0.25. Yeah, so if I think this is too much area, I want to paint furthermore here, I can just come over to the paint mask, can use paint mask and enable texture paint, and let's clear here, come over the mesh painting, vertex colors, remove everything so we don't have any information. So when we zero out, we don't have any masking. If I add one, we will have a fully black mask. So if I swap this, paint fully, now we have our masking. Because we are using erase now by default, we will erase things. Like, let's see, now we are adding, and we are adding like full strength. Here we even have like a bit lower, and we have the full power of the texture paint, like we're painting fully black. reveal, but I want it to have a little bit contrast, so I lower the strength, and if I start painting here, we will have more edges. Like here is the really sharp transition, and we will have lower transition here. And if we even further lower the strength of the paint brush, then we will see more of the transition. In fact, we don't even have enough power to fully reveal our bottom layer. A little bit more, another stroke, not enough, another one, maybe this is too low. So yeah, let's say if I paint fully, and then I want to reveal some little bit of the paint and lower my size. Like we can say we have this metal sheet. For this I can actually use some kind of a normal information. Like in the details we can use enable detail normal. I don't have a metal sheet like kinda normal, but I think I can use some kind of roof. I should have kind of cool roof normals. Let's see, yeah, kinda like this. Roof tiles, okay. And maybe increase a bit of the detail normal. Further. Okay, now I have, you can imagine this is like a metal sheet here, and if I want to paint over some rusts, I can just even further lower my brush size, 0.5, and start painting here. A bit more. A bit more. Now you can see this black overlay is going very nice. We can have really detailed, cool looking rust here. Maybe on the top of it. yeah, I guess this is I really like this look. So this is overall my peeling rust effect. Let's go over one more time. We have our background, just a metal layer. We overlay some normal effects. We just sample a noise, a normal attribute from the top, which is just random rock information, and we are using our base mask sampling here, our main masking method. Right now we are showing off the texture paint, so whatever you masking, it will be happening. Like this paint mask, we enable this. We don't have a detail mask here. We just have this area. We have the soft gradients here between. I don't need a sharp color or normal information. This is happening gradually. And I just have overlay to tint the effect here. So I'm just simply actually adding normal and overlaying some colors. That's all. And then I'm just using the same masking information as my below mask method in the base mask of the rust. So I will reveal here. I just increase the contrast and lower some of the mask, so I will have in different part a bit offset from the rust effect. So normal effect here. And I have this gradient, so I can use my detail mask to work in between. I have like really high noise tiling, 20, 40, 100, you know, like hundreds, but still looking cool. Too much. 10 was good. So that's it. I mean, I have a masking method and same mask, have a detail mask for the top, and just overlay on the base mask. You know, I use a base which is the same gradient, and I just lower some brightness I have, and that's it. Alright, this is long enough. I hope you find it useful. This will be added to the layer examples collection in the LayerCraft, so don't miss out, and see you next time.